Hi guys, how you doing? Senior Gaming here, and in today's episode I'm bringing you Blade Idol and I'll be talking Heaven's Gear. So if you're Blade Idol player or perhaps Idol gamer, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as I post as often as possible and bring you best tips and advice. And if you enjoy what you see, then hit that like button as well. Alright then guys, so when you thought you're gonna get your God gear maxed out and now you can focus on other aspects of the game, then we got a Heaven tier released. And I don't think I need to tell you now how much more diamonds you need to get in order to get Heavens up and running. But nevertheless, let's see what the Heavens is made of and what you should really focus on going forward. So the first things first, in order to actually unlock Heaven's tier, you need to make sure you've got your Sword Ego maxed out. So if I'm gonna head over to inventory here and then head over to Ego, obviously the Sword of Ego will have 5 different grades. Bear in mind you need to have a grade 5 not only unlocked, but it has to be maxed out. So obviously your focus with diamonds and farming stage chests as much as possible will be to max this out as soon as possible. If you're just starting out with the grade, slowly you'll be upgrading probably gear at the same time as much as ego. But when you get into grade 3, 4 and 5, I strongly suggest that you're gonna heavily invest in that until you max it out. Okay, so once you are obviously a happy owner of the maxed out Sword Ego, then you can finally focus on summoning weapons and armors as normal. So you just go into a summon section and you will just go between weapon and armor. And this is where you obviously got a slim chance of getting Heaven's tier. But nevertheless, you won't be obviously aiming fully to get that out of summon. You'll be focusing on summoning as much as you can, as heavy diamond spend as possible, and then finally you're gonna start upgrade obviously God gear into finally a Heaven's tier. Right, so obviously talking about all of these principles in the first place, let's now see what Heavens has to offer. So if I'm gonna head over to a inventory itself and get into equipment, and let's just focus on the weapon itself. So as you see, currently I'm only on a grade 3, and I got to tell you I have spent tons and tons of diamonds already. So the first thing which definitely stands out, we've got here another multiplier, and as the game provides, your multiplier will multiply with another aspects of the game. So we're talking attack, obviously if you got a figure attack, if you got a super option attack, all the attacks will multiply. So when you got another multiplier introduced, you definitely want to hit that as soon as possible. So as you see now, we've got another attack multiplier, which is upgrade Heaven, but the same principle apply when it comes to a armor. So we're gonna have here HP, and as well with the helmet we've got here Heaven's defense. Okay, there is also something that it's a brand new aspect to the game. We didn't have it with the God tier, and this is called set effect. And basically what it encourages you to do is to gear all the grades of the very same tier for additional bonus. But as you have probably seen already with the weapon itself, I have managed to get it on grade 3, whilst I've got every other piece of armor on grade 4. Now my focus will be to heavily spend diamonds and upgrade all the pieces of other armor into grade 3. And I will definitely go ahead and prioritize that over than upgrading my weapon to grade 2. Because end of the day, it will take you days and days, if not heavy weeks, to actually get to that grade 3 or grade 2. So I believe with this extra set effects you'll be better off. Now I want to focus upgrading everything to grade 3, and as you see I'm gonna have extra special attack here. And then if you go through every single other aspect of the gear as well, it will show you that yeah, when we get to grade 3 I'm gonna have additional penetration and accuracy, great bonus. With armor we're gonna have additional HP of 100% and a helmet finally another defense. So I believe this is a great addition. It encourages you to pretty much evenly keep upgrading where you are within a game. But obviously if you reach heavy with diamonds, you can also sometimes go ahead with the weapon. The weapon will be always a primary aspect of the game where you want to get as much damage as possible and obviously farm more efficiently. But currently where I am as well, I've got now a new upgrade unlocked, and I actually lack some of the HP and defense. Therefore this is a perfect time for me to gear up on grade 3 with Heavens and then finally be able to beat that. Alright, and now finally let's see what options we want to focus with this brand new tier. So heading over to inventory and the weapon itself, and let's go select this great free weapon and the options. So the options you want to start rolling in a all Heaven's Gear, which means weapon and armor itself. The primary one is gonna be a super option attack, and the secondary one you want to go for upgrade option attack, and I'll show you why in just a second. So when we had a God Gear previously, you would have gone with a super critical damage or upgrade option attack. And as you see, this was a 50% on a very first grade. So when it comes to a super critical damage, we could squeeze a 200%, and upgrade option attack could be at a 50. But now when we talk a Heaven, we've got this a option where super critical damage is now increased to 240, but the option itself, it's more than doubled. So obviously this is no brainer that this will be one of the better options, as in here we get an extra 40%, whilst in here it's more than double. But also what is new now with this brand new tier, and this option can be found in some of the items, is this super option attack. And this is a very small percentage. As you see, we're starting from 3 through 5 all the way to 11.5 on this very grade. Obviously, as you're gonna keep progressing with the grade, percentage gonna be slightly higher, but this is one of the new multipliers you want to focus on, and as you see, this percentage is pretty small. So if I'll just go back into a main stats, and if we go through, for instance, a super critical damage that we could focus in a God tier, as you see, I got a 3700% on it. Then when it comes to upgrade options, which I told you this is supposed to be your secondary option, it's still a 400% in comparison to this new super option attack, which I only got at 220. And as mentioned earlier, the multipliers are multiplying between each other, so the more new multipliers you've got, the better. But obviously there is a always better way of trying to evenly spread the percentage rather than just heavily go, let's say, in a super critical damage. It wouldn't make sense to go 10,000 here and just have this flat at 100. You want to sort of narrow them down as much as possible. You won't be able to due to a various spread of percentage, but this is one of the least option you can get now, and that's the reason you should focus on. And the same principle applied to gloves and anything extra here. As you see, I got a super option attack. Same principle applies here. We got a high percentage for option attack as a secondary option, and also you want to aim for this super option attack. Same for helmet, and it's gonna be same principle for your armor. So that will be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have, you know what to do. Smash this like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, I will see you next time.